With the idea of constant height masking, like our Cinecurve. That's our most popular masking system. We love it because it allows us to showcase any type of content in the correct aspect ratio from 1:3:3 all the way out to 2:40. No stretching, no zooming, no black bars. However, even though it's our most popular, it does have its limitations because we can show off the content the way it was meant to be seen in the correct aspect ratio, but what about the right size? The problem is that content comes from many different devices. You have streaming devices like Apple or YouTube. One step up from that is broadcast. Another step, you've got Blu-ray, and that's markedly better than the previous two. But you also have this promise of 4K or 8K coming somewhere down the line. Most of the time, our integrators design for Blu-ray, maximize what's available today. The problem with that aspect is streaming devices look awful. And you're not really going to be taking advantage of this 4K, 8K delivery when it's available. This is where the director's choice comes in, an option for infinitely variable masking. And this is a level of flexibility you just don't get with our fixed frame or constant height masking systems. Now to illustrate this, I'm going to play several different clips. And we're going to start out with one of my favorites from Casablanca. But if this were streaming content, if I was getting this from Apple or YouTube, it would probably already be too large. Lots of pixelization, lots of compression artifacts, and it would make one of the best movies of all time almost unwatchable. In 4K, there wouldn't be a big point to that because I would not be able to see a true difference in the resolution because of the smaller screen size. With the Director's Choice 100, this does become reality. But we've done what no constant height masking system can do. We've made it 4 times larger. Now, you might be wondering why we're talking so much about 1:3:3 here at the beginning, and there's a couple of reasons. For one, it's one of the worst things that you can watch on a flat panel television. Cheers, Gilligan's Island, or Star Trek, they all have one thing in common, that format. Now you're able to give them the ability that no matter where they're getting the content from, if they're streaming it from Apple or YouTube, they can see it without any artifacts, without any compression issues, because they can adjust the size and optimize for whatever resolution that source device is. I spend a lot of my free time playing video games. Tomorrow morning, you're most likely to find me at the airport, cell phone in hand, and I'll be playing Angry Birds on a 4-inch screen. That's the right size because all I'm looking for is distraction. But if I'm sitting at home, I don't want to watch a 4-inch image. A few days ago when we designed this room, I came up with that screen size based solely on my personal preference. I thought this looked pretty good. Now one of my coworkers said, well hell, why don't you make it fill up the whole screen? And I said, why? The birds don't get any angrier, right? This is the right size for me. But this isn't the only thing that I like to play. My tastes sometimes run a little more extreme. I want to see this exactly as if I were sitting in the cockpit of that tank. I want to turn video game into simulator. Now your client may not be into gaming, and that's okay, so I'll give you another for instance. On any given Sunday, he's likely to plop himself down in his favorite seat, beer in hand, and he's going to watch a soccer match. You could tailor a picture size for one sweet seat, best possible fidelity just for him. But when World Cup comes, he's got 20 friends and family over. Now you have 20 sweet seats to think about. And he wants to show off a bit. He wants to make sure everybody gets the best possible experience. So you could generate a very large image, fill up the entire wall. It doesn't matter what the resolution is. It's party atmosphere. It's all about having a great time and a good experience. You could just say, well, I'll sell my customer a screen this size, and he might be happy for a year or so. But sooner or later, hopefully, he invites you back to install another 4K device into his audio system, his video system. Now, when you put that 4K optical drive or server in, or maybe it's a satellite receiver or cable box, do you really want to have a conversation with him where you say, hey, I know I just sold you that screen a couple of years ago, but now I'm going to tell you to throw it away and buy a new screen. Get rid of the projector that you just finished paying for and buy another projector, because this video system won't take advantage of the source device that I just installed for you. I think that that's going to be a hard conversation. You're not going to be his best friend. I would rather say, I knew this was coming. I anticipated it. I had a clear upgrade path in my projector, and I'm going to make your experience incredible. This is over 4 times the size of the previous clip. So you're sitting about 2.5 meters away from a 4.5 meter wide image. And no one complains about it because there's no artifacts or digital noise in that image. So I could take this screen exactly as you see it. I could put it in a space that's 3 meters high, 5 meters wide, and it's only 4 meters to the back of your chair. That's an incredibly large image for such a small venue. So you see the masking panels completely closing. When the system's not in use, the screen is protected from dust and debris. But additionally, this gives an elegant architectural solution for if this is not a dedicated theater, perhaps it's a small multi-purpose space. We have a television, we've got 4K movie night, and we have everything in between. It's whatever your client wants it to be. The only limitation to this system is the height and width of the room that they place it in. So that concluded the presentation. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you found the seats comfortable.